So the name of our group is FliWi, or FliWi.
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 Okay.
And all of the other groups that already have presented, that's good infrastructure technology, but at the end of the day, what we are going to have to support and gain is the ability for the caregivers to get to that information. To that end, we see a big increase in the necessary communications that are going to be required to support mobility and connectivity. Right now, we have capability to have 802.11 AC. We're deploying it as we speak. 4 years from now, we expect that we're going to be transitioning to a different type of technology that's already essentially available but not really widely deployed. Many of you may never have heard of it. It's called Wi-Fi. Anybody heard of that? Okay, so Wi-Fi essentially is a Wi-Fi technology that uses light, visible light, and it uses LEDs in order to transmit data. And it doesn't have to be line of sight. So the bandwidth you have with Wi-Fi is astronomical, damn near infinite. You're using wavelengths of light. So if you have devices that can pick up different wavelengths, essentially the number of networks that you can have, pick a number. So that's my little pitch on that. So one of the things that we're going to be using this type of technology for is potentially is integrated devices, say like Rover. Now right now we're using the MC40s as a platform for Volt. That device actually has a lot more capability than it's being used for. Potentially you could integrate that with PPID Rover, Epic, the whole sheet match because it has the capability. But it would also need the capability to support this type of connectivity. Now, that said, we would also have fallback technology back to the existing 802.11 AC type technologies in addition to that high bandwidth capability. So, moving forward, let me put my glasses on here. So some of the technologies that we see you're going to have to support is not only wearable type devices, mobile devices. Telemetry is another thing that's going to be going over Wi-Fi these days. It's being transitioned to Wi-Fi as we speak in a lot of different hospitals across the country. They used to use essentially an isolated type of licensed bandwidth, but that's going over Wi-Fi now. So potentially we're going to be putting more and more stuff on the Wi-Fi networks. So we're going to have the capability to support all of that stuff. One of the things that we had discussed in our group was the mechanisms to secure it. We're talking about essentially securing the actual client device. And some of those things were already been put on the table. I see, based on what just Joseph was saying, we're probably going to use something like biometrics going forward. Username, password. I still see 4 years from now being able to use 802.1x mechanisms, and 802, layer 2 encryption. So pretty much that's it. Anybody got any questions about this? Hit me.
How did you end up on the Wi-Fi team? This is just somebody cooked the books on this. Who traded with Wayne?
Put me in my element.
Has Wi-Fi been rolled out anywhere to your knowledge?
Yeah.
It's actually on your iPhone.
Take a look. It's on just do a Google search on it.
In our defense, it was actually Mike's idea for Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
I had heard it from someone else who was talking about it where my kids go to school, and I did a little research on it. Very interesting technology, actually.
I actually met the engineer from the company last year at Cisco Live.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the drivers are actually, I think it's version 9, or actually is part of the iPhone, I think is what I read. So they actually have the drivers that are starting to still, I think they're trying to figure out because they pick up on the LED frequency that you don't see. And I think what they're trying to figure out is how do you bring it into a usable sense, right? So if I'm walking or traveling in transport, and then also in dark, situations, things like that, which would fall back on Wi-Fi AC. But
Yeah.
but
It also turns out that just last year when I was at Live, Cisco's already starting to build devices that integrate with LED lighting. They're building switches that integrate LED lighting. Why would that be?
There's It's gonna be huge
Is it
improvements.
same access point as the Wi-Fi that we use right now, or?
No,
how
that's
would they
the
get connected?
key, is that they could integrate it in with your light systems.
Just a
So
light, any normal light?
LED.
LED light, because it already puts off the frequency. What they can do is control the pulses of light that you don't see through LED.
You can't detect it.
Well, damage your brain.
Probably-
No problem there.
Very, very good. FliWi, I like that. So, I want to thank you guys. I mean, one of the things that to think about is, one, to sit down, to think about as we start thinking about the future, how did these conversations start, right? You guys spent a little bit of time just trying to create a vision, trying to figure out what problem are you trying to solve, and you started from there, right? How much time do you spend each